line is we're on the same wavelength.
Yeah. I think the scariest thing for marketers is exactly what you just said. I think we're moving to a world of agent to agent marketing where your personal agent is going to interact with another agent. Humans not even going to have any input whatsoever. You're going to look at your phone and be like, oh, there's my calendar for tomorrow or the next day. And I have to go here. I have to go there. It's going to know what credit cards to use. Here's the points. And I did hear this on a podcast a long time ago, but it was kind of like abstract. But the more you look at something like OpenClaw, the more you maybe use agent mode in ChatGPT. And like you said, it's funny because now I operate, like I literally right now on top of my screen, I got Claude, Gemini, and ChatGPT and Notebook LLM open. So, but the more I operate in all of them, and if I break up, all different custom GPTs, that's kind of, or gems or however you want to call it, projects, it all comes back to it knows my entire conversation I had across every single one of them. So that one being understands Len Ward all the way. So you're right. So at what point are they going to come out with an apparatus, which apparently ChatGPT's right around the corner having a product that you're going to walk around with, and that's going to be interacting with every one of these chatbots out there.
Okay, so you brought something up I think it's worth talking about because this is something that I personally do as well. Mm-hmm. You're working with a bunch of different of the major LLMs, right? So you talked about Gemini, you talked about Claude, you talked about ChatGPT. How are you using them? I think people would love to hear, what are you using different ones for? Because I certainly have ones I go to for certain things. Because also the memory set, for example, I love ChatGPT 4 and where it had perpetual memory, and I was using it one way, and then they turned that off, and now I like it because if I use Claude, it'll try to tie it back to everything that we talked about, and if I just need a new thread, I'll start to use ChatGPT for this, or I'll use Claude for this. And then we're using Gemini's tied into our whole workflow. And then Manus is hooked into Facebook. So I'm curious just kind of how you're utilizing the different LLMs, if you don't mind sharing.
No, that's a great question. So I personally use ChatGPT as my operating system for everything. So I have a myriad of custom GPTs that are built out in there. So I am pretty much on that daily. That's your operating system. That's my operating system. Yeah. Gemini, I find to be the smartest. So if I have to go do something, I think Gemini's deep research. I think Notebook LLM, which is a product of theirs. I'll touch on that in a minute because that's a really underutilized.
Yeah, it's great. Yeah.
Great tool. But so I go to Gemini when I look at the ChatGPT answer that'll come back to me, or maybe it's writing code or something, and I'll bring something over to Gemini and I'll say, go through this. It's funny because Gemini and ChatGPT work very well together if you actually get those two when you're kind of doing it. So I cross-check a lot of stuff. A lot of times if I have a quick question and I want to kind of go through something, I go to Gemini. So I'm finding myself using a Gemini, but I'll say this, that a lot of people are saying, the more I use Claude, the more I go in there and try to touch on things, the more I say to myself, I'm like, Claude is so goddamn advanced. It's unbelievable. I mean, it's almost like Claude is the best version of Gemini and ChatGPT, but strips out all the bullshit. And it's like, what do you want? I'll create it. That's it. You don't have to do this and add agent mode, and I'll do whatever you want me to do. So, but and then by the way, there's the other flip side. That's an underutilized tool, which is not even Notebook LLM, but a lot of people discount Perplexity for the quick search. People like that for the search.
The backlinks, like if you're doing backlink research on where these LLMs are pulling from, I think I've found that to be most helpful.
Yeah,
and
right.
We've been starting to mess around with the Perplexity browser Comet.
Yeah, it's good.
And so I'm having a great time. I mean, I know that it's scary, but it's scary only if you don't know what's going on. And, I think that's what it is. We have just so much information that we're processing today, emails and everything else. And all this stuff is moving so rapidly and it's changing so much. It becomes like overload. And I think, being in marketing or being in digital or being in that capacity, you have a real advantage to be able to pick this stuff up. Because I mean, look, the biggest problem I think in marketing is how many different platforms are people still logging into? That is my number one pet peeve. Let's stop logging in to all these different platforms. Let's use NPCs to connect everything together and build, like you say, like the data lake to reference from a RAG standpoint, like let's recall this information from this place. Like let's not take fractured data and then put it all together. I don't know. I just feel like marketers, the problem is so much in our face that AI solves it, and it's forcing us to do it. And under industries like, look, my wife's in like construction. I mean, she doesn't want to have anything to do with AI. But I see opportunities for it. I see advancements, and I mean, I even see the robots walking out, like with Melinda or whatever her name is, Melania. Sorry, Melania.
Oh, yeah.
Like, did you see that? Like, and like what Elon Musk is talking about. I mean, when that comes around the corner, I think that that's going to be the wake up call, like COVID, of like, hey, you can work from home, you can do stuff remote. Like, I mean, Zoom calls, and I'll just say this. Sorry, I'm on a just a rant at this point, but I feel like paid ads, absolutely, like all the models we had when everybody started getting into PPC around COVID, throughout like all the models that we had of how we were running ads, and the market just became too saturated. And at a certain point, like how much juice can you squeeze out of this lemon? Like you need to fan out on some of these other platforms. And I think that that's what forced the fan out and the searching, and really like the ad spend, because like Google's oversaturated in certain categories. It just doesn't make sense to run ads. And it's not that whoever's running the ads is not good at operating it. It's just the market is flooded. I don't know.